Black women, we carry a lot on our shoulders. We have to deal with a lot of stereotypes, like the strong Black woman. And I'm told that a lot. You're so strong, you're so strong. And I know people mean it as a compliment. It is in a way, but then it kind of perpetuates that the way that I'm supposed to be and operate in this world. You don't want to have to be strong all the time, but you feel like you need to be. I'm Jennifer Jenkins. I work at Jefferson Protection and Animal Welfare Services in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. I am the shelter manager for our East Bank location. First memory of a dog that we had was a stray that my dad picked up. We had him maybe a week or so. He put an ad in the newspaper to say, hey, we found this dog. Because of course back then, that's what you did, was put it in the newspaper. Well, the owners, they answered it and they called actually. And they said, yeah, his name is Smokey. See if he answers to that. And sure enough, this dog answered to Smokey. Quite sad that dog left. I love that dog. And then from there, expressed an interest in having our own dogs and everything. My dad found a guy who was selling Labrador retrievers. We were going to get one. There was a black one and a yellow one left. I picked the black one. The guy ended up talking my dad into getting both. So we ended up taking both home. Sunny and Silhouette were their names. And then I didn't have another dog until my daughter until she was 9 years old, I think. And then that's when I adopted Storm, whose name is actually Stormageddon. We said, well, let's name him Stormageddon. I'd said that as into Doctor Who at the time. I still am, actually. All my dogs, except for Jerry's, named after a Doctor Who character. But he was just all over the place. I think he has some terrier in there, so there's a certain personality that comes with terrier type dogs. And he actually made me be a better dog owner, I would say, taking him to training. I read and watched everything there was about dogs and dog behaviors. I just ate it up. I just wanted to learn everything. It teaches you responsibility to care for something other than yourself, because it's a whole nother living creature. I'm actually in the camp of, if you're able and you have kids, let them have a pet. But I really believe I wish all kids had an animal growing up. It just teaches you so much. Just caring for others. I think there's this empathy it teaches you. Where I work now is at a shelter in Jefferson Parish. It is basically one shelter, 2 locations separated by a body of water. It's in Louisiana. It is hot. It is humid. So at the Baton Rouge shelter, we euthanize every single day. Everybody rotated a day when it was their day to euthanize. And then that would switch off with who authorized it, who approved it. So a couple of times when I had to approve the euthanasia list, so I have to go around, I have to make sure everything checked, picture, the animal ID, everything, kennel, it had to be right. And I came across this particular dog, I think it was a Chow Australian Shepherd mix. He was very fearful and timid in his kennel, but not fear aggressive. So I would be there, one of the main times I would be there late, walking around, I see this dog I'm approving, and I pulled him off the list because I was like, yeah, nope, not gonna do it. He got put on the list again. I was approving again. I was like, yep, nope, not gonna do it. So that actually, I got an email from the acting director at the time, and it's this long thing. And, if you're going to pull one off, you've been told that then you need to put one back on. And it took me about 48 hours to respond. And I responded, I said, not doing that. They're not baseball cards to be traded. So there's that. And, they said something about, then if you should put them in your office. I'm like, I'm the only one pretty much who brings animals in their office. 2, 3 at a time. So, but I put him in my office, named him Chance because kept giving him chances, ended up getting adopted by this one guy, younger guy, I think maybe fresh out of college, just starting his career. Best friends, basically. And the person who was running, during Mardi Gras time, there's this parade and it's for animals. And they saw him and Chance out there at the parade and everything, thriving. I mean, he just ended up being this great dog. And if I guess wasn't bold enough to say I'm not putting this animal down, I mean, he would have missed out on a great dog. Those kind of things, it really helps to make it worthwhile when you get that animal. You work so hard and then they get out and they're thriving. I think I arrived at that position. It's a combination of a lot of things. I think where I've worked at before, working with adjudicated youth as a GED instructor, working even at the previous shelter in Baton Rouge, coming to Jefferson Parish, my own personal experiences that I have went through, because 2019 was a doozy for me. All of that together just, I think, gave me this outlook into animal sheltering. And also, I haven't been in animal sheltering long, not working. I've only been working in this field for 5 years, as opposed to people who may have been in it for years and years and years, because you can do this and you get used to the way it's always been done and it gets comfortable. So since I've only been doing it for 5 years, I'm not used to the way it's been done. I haven't really gotten comfortable. So I see it differently. I will continue to chase a level of discomfort. I would say Pets for Life was a big thing for me. I got started in it because when it was started, the communities that we're going into were mainly people of color. And then I saw that all the people who wanted to get involved with it were white people. And I said, yeah, we can't just let it all be white. I need to get in here and show that, like, person of color on the other side of it, giving and everything. So I got into that. And then it was just a whole new world open for me as far as people in those particular communities, poorer communities, underserved communities, food deserts, vet deserts in these communities, or access to pet resources. They don't have it. It's just, I think we, in this field, in animal welfare and rescue, kind of shoot our own selves in the foot when it comes to getting these animals into homes. People will judge people of color coming in to adopt an animal and automatically assume that they're not going to take good care of it. They don't know what they're doing, so it can be a barrier to adoptions, a really big one. We're turning these people away who most likely are going to give them a great home, because even certain people of color, they may live a certain way as well. They may not have a fence. They may live in an apartment, may not own their home, whatever the case may be. And so all of that keeps people from adopting, and then they can't adopt. We keep saying that there's not enough homes, but there are enough homes. There really and truly are. It's just that we're not allowing these people to take home these animals. I think that's really one of the biggest problems, is we are not letting these people adopt animals. And so therefore they are going to go to the backyard breeder. And I mean, to be completely honest, I can't blame them. They want a pet. And that, to me, that just goes to show how desperately they want a pet, that they are willing to go to a backyard breeder. They're like, I don't care. I'm going to find somebody, because somebody's going to go ahead and give me this animal and give me a pet. If you guys deny me, I'll just go somewhere else. So it's a vicious cycle. Black women, we carry a lot on our shoulders. We have to deal with a lot of stereotypes, like the strong Black woman. And I'm told that a lot. You're so strong, you're so strong. And I know people mean it as a compliment, It is in a way, but then it kind of perpetuates that the way that I'm supposed to be and operate in this world. You don't want to have to be strong all the time, but you feel like you need to be. I think we're not looked at as having emotions of feeling anything but anger, because then there is the angry Black woman, so it's another thing we got to fight against too. So it's a lot of that is keeping my emotions in check, even though anger is a perfectly human emotion, perfectly natural human emotion. So yeah, so I would just say just don't take on everybody else's stuff, you know. Other emotions that I feel, because I have to deal with that. There is a lot of sadness and loneliness. Because you feel like, at least for me, and it could be just my personality or whatever, because I try to keep everything in this feeling that there's no one who understands and there's no one to talk to. I don't have really another Black woman. Not really. I don't have another Black woman to talk to in this field. I don't. There are people, there may be other women I can talk to, and we can commiserate over the crap we're dealing with at our shelters. But as a Black woman in this, there's nobody. Yeah, there is absolutely nobody for me to talk to, and so nobody really gets it, you know. I mean, there was a time I did think about, I wanted to create a network of Black people in this, but God, I don't know. It's just, I wonder if it just needs to be Black women need to come together who are in this field, who can understand each other, because it's hard just being a Black woman, just to maneuver in this world, just to operate in this world and everything, but to be in animal welfare and to do this work, yeah, it's just, it's hard. It's sad. It's lonely. It's just, there's a lot of, you have to be very cognizant of your emotions and keeping them in check. I am told just, this is a safe space and you can say whatever. Absolutely not. There's no safe space for me. If there are Black women already there in your shelter, especially in a leadership role, let them do what they do. We're really smart. We just have this common sense approach to things, and we know how to figure things out. Just let us be free to be us, and that way you will attract more Black women into your shelter, because if you do have other Black women who are into animals and they would love to get into this, or young girls, and they see Black women out there doing what they do, that's somebody for them to look up to. Yeah, just don't be intimidated by what we can bring. It all works together. You need all these different pieces to work together to help the shelter. You need that other viewpoint, because we bring a whole other viewpoint into animal sheltering. So just let us do us. Yeah. I like reading. It's things of escape. Yeah, to get out of, I don't really like to watch anything too heavy. I used to, but I think within the last few years, life has been heavy enough. So I go for the silly, more other interests. Man, animals is just, it's my thing. You know, it's like I'm very fortunate that I am working in a field that is my passion. I discovered it late in life, but I'm so grateful I discovered it because not many people get a chance to do that. So I am grateful, even with all of the hardships and everything that come along with it. It's still, I couldn't, even when I thought about getting out of it, I was like, Jennifer, what are you gonna do? Like, really and truly, like, what else is there? So, you know.
I think that's a perfect place to end
Thank you. Oh gosh.